Hello, it's your boy Skinny Jeans Craft and welcome back to another video on this dead channel. Today we're going to be doing a normal let's play video since I have indeed hit UNC status in terms of content ideas, so strap yourselves in as we dive through the slopes of Mount Rushmore and into the video. Before we do that though, are you subscribed to the channel? If not, then why not? Comment down below your feelings about it, even though there's a chance that I won't care about it. And without further ado, here is the footage. To start things off, we opened the game at the newest version of this video's recording. Let's start things off nice and easy and click on single player. However, we're going to spice things up, and instead of having the world at default, we're going to beat the game in super flat since I'm just a stupid dumb goose and I wanted to see how hard it would be to keep things interesting in a world that's pretty much empty like the inside of my brain. We're also going to be naming the world something basic and simple like Craftian's Place, since during recording I couldn't come up with any good names to name this world, so we're going to stick with this for the entire series. And now it's time to shut the hell up and start creating our brand new world. So the first thing I glazed my eyes upon is the first thing that already came to mind, an empty area full of grass and slimes. I started to gather food by killing the nearby mobs, since that's pretty much the first thing any sane human being does when getting themselves into a world that has nothing but grass. After getting enough food, I started to go explore around looking for a big village that can be quite helpful since that's where we will mostly progress through this playthrough process. I noticed that when I first joined, my render distance was set to 2, so when I decided to increase it, it's like God himself blessed me with not 1, but 2 villages. Of course there was a third one at the distance, but that will come in handy later. Once we have arrived at the village, I started to look around gathering materials for my future endeavors, and damn, our first look wasn't too bad as we got about 5 iron, 2 iron pickaxes and an iron chestplate. After that awesome amount of loot, I decided to look around the village looking for chests that I could benefit from, and, totally not stealing by the way, after exploring the village, I came across an iron golem, which that will probably be one of the key figures to successfully beating the game. So after seeing the iron golem beat down a bunch of small children, I mean small slime mobs, I decided to take him out of his misery from this world and ended up killing him for iron. Rest in peace, iron golem, you won't be missed. After that I decided to chop down trees since that will be handy for the next thing I should do. Once the night began to rise, I headed to a random villager's home and killing and skinning him alive. I mean kicking him out of the bed so that I could sleep. Next day has arrived and I started planning on what I should do next, and that is to make a fence wall to control the area and for that to be our base for this series. Now you probably are asking yourself, how are you going to protect yourself from the endless amount of slimes that end up spawning in your area? Good thing you asked, my fun size firecracker. You have this thing called chunk borders. And what you can do with those is that by pressing F3 plus G onto Minecraft, you can see these every chunk that this world is made out of, and in super flat the slimes spawn on random specific chunks, so the purpose of it is to locate any chunk within my fence that slime generally spawn in and eliminate them from existing inside. So after breaking my existing walls and nearly dying, I began placing the fences, and let me tell you, this area is gonna be massive. Not as massive as your sorry about that. So I quickly got into making the fence wall, and I've mined more trees and began demolish some of these houses for wood, which that's probably gonna be a common thing around here. While I was mining, I was suddenly got jumped by a horde of slimes, and that ended up being my first ever death on this series. So after feeling sad about it, I ended up taking revenge on the slimes and managed to pick up my items and quickly got back to what I was doing. So after I've successfully made the fence around my area and managing to have a pretty spacious area to build in, I've began to craft shovels and began making dirt paths on specific chunks of grass, since slimes normally can spawn on dirt paths, and that's how we can get rid of them. Another question you're probably wondering about is, how do you know which specific type of chunk is the one that slimes will spawn on? Which that will depend on something which got some people mixed feelings about it. It's a website called Slime Chunk Finder. And if you still don't understand what the purpose of the website, even though it's in the name, it's basically a website that can find chunk areas in which slimes generally spawn in. You put your world seed into it and it begins to search for all nearby chunks around your world. So using this information, I quickly have gone ahead and found all nearby chunks using this method and began blocking off one by one. Seeing that there might be more of them around my base, I think that this has been enough effort for this episode. Thank you guys very much for watching the first episode of this Let's Play video. Don't forget to like the video so you could watch more of me playing Minecraft for people to see on the internet. Before I end the video, here's an editor's note. I forgot to mention that after each video, I would choose anyone that comments down below and place them in the name board to join this world. See you in the next video.